Darwin and Revolution. Darwin had always wanted to study nature even though his father wanted him to be a doctor or a priest. Defying him young, Darwin embarked on a ship sent to the chart and coast of South America because he wanted to connect and study exotic animal specimens. What he found on the 5 year trip would lead him to question his beliefs. What if species weren't as permanent and perfect as everyone thought? In Argentina, Darwin found fossils of what looked like giant armadillos and sloths. Clearly, these animals had existed at some point, but they didn't anymore. This made Darwin suspect species had changed over time in line with some existing but unpopular theories. He had also seen mockingbirds, and when he got to the Galapagos, he found different mockingbird species on the island distinct among each other and from the mainland species. Because of their sheer similarity and closeness, Darwin hypothesized that they had a common ancestor whose specimens and had flown to the island and changed there. However, something was missing. How did this change happen? Darwin's inspiration came from economists, Thomas Malthus, who believed that humans reproduce faster than their food supply. Darwin realized that animals always breed beyond their available resources, so the individuals who were better at surviving would be the ones to reproduce this way. They would pass on any traits that had helped them to survive. Everything fit together, but there was a final hurdle. Darwin, like the society he lived in, was deeply religious, and all the evidence had found contradicted Christian beliefs. It would take him over 20 years to write and publish his revolutionary book on the origin of species, but when he finally did, it became one of the most influential scientific treatises at all time.
He was a Christian monk named Nikolai Copernic. We know him as Nicholas Copernicus. Copernicus embodied the phrase Renaissance man, cleric, physician, translator, mathematician, diplomat, jurist, economist, government, and even a warrior. We know the name Copernicus not only by who he is, but because he charted a new course of humanity. One rare event changed all the civilizations in year 1453. The Ottoman Turks conquered Constantinople, the queen of cities, and a bastion of Greek culture since the days of Alexander the Great. This caused for the city scholars to flee west and brought it with them, ancient knowledge that took root as Europe was coming into a new age in questioning. Greek and Byzantine ideas inspired Renaissance thinkers to challenge Aristotle's physics. The thinkers began to use mathematical data in their studies of the stars, as astronomers had long struggled to explain what they were seeing. What caused the sun to appear, to travel east to west each day, and why did the planet seem to track eastward across the zodiac? Nicholas Copernicus reasoned that the Earth might spin cause the sun's flight, and if the Earth moved in a circle around the sun, that would explain why the sun seemed to travel across zodiac in so many in such important way. Then wrote Copernicus to do planets bear witness to Earth mobility. Copernicus' idea was not supported by the church and considered it is unseen and crime such challenges. The church devised the Inquisition for the certain reason. Copernicus kept his theories largely secret until he was 70 years old. His book on the revolution of the celestial spheres was not printed until 1548. The first copy was placed on his hands as Copernicus lay dying. Soon after, European scientists began to embrace his ideas on circular orbits. On 5th, Galileo Galilei agreed to the theory of Copernicus after witnessing it himself by his own invention. A new marble, the spyglasses, which he improved to increase its lens range.
The Copernican theory that Vatican condemned the questioning minds of the Renaissance had proven the church wrong about the most basic concept that the earth stood at the center of God. However, the Vatican still scorned Copernican theory that it is only offering a mechanistic the Vatican is determined to silence Galilei and put him on trial. Copernican revolution had already set fire to the European imagination. The world is already changing and there is no turning back. On 70th century, in England, Isaac Newton would ask what property is Earth. He applied the latest mathematics, show that math was the language of universe and proved the existence of gravity. After Newton, on 20th century, Albert Einstein introduced an entirely new way of understanding gravity, space, and time. He imagined it's the Genesis-like event and read the work of the American astronomer Edwin Hubble that strongly supported Lemaitreux's concept. In public, he proposed the theory and being mocked by an astronomer and called it a Big Bang theory. In his continuing of research, Hubble later showed the universe to be far larger than anyone imagined and discovering one galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy. Einstein died in 195, leaving clashing theories about the universe. So we can clearly see how Copernicus literally turned out perspective inside out. No longer was the earth at the center of creation. It was said that divine authority had been replaced by experience, experiment, and observation. Today's Catholic Church accepts the finding of Copernicus, Galileo, and their colleges largely embracing the science.